Hello, everyone. This is Steve O'Reilly and Gail Saunders with SkinnyPost.com. We're going to talk a little draft. We have the draft tomorrow night. 2011 NFL draft is about to take place. We're going to jump right in and talk about the Carolina Panthers. Gail, seems like a slam dunk. Everybody's talking about Cam Newton being number one. I think if they could negotiate a contract, they probably would have hammered one out by now because it seems like it's a done deal in pretty much every circle. What do you think?
Carolina, the organization needs some kind of excitement. They need to get people back in the seats. What better way to have a quarterback, flashy quarterback doing his thing? He's gonna make some wow plays. So I mean, it's the easy pick for the Panthers right now.
Second overall now, we've got the Denver Broncos. They switching to a 4-3 with John Fox. They really need defensive tackles. In my opinion, the middle of the defense is terrible. Their running defense is terrible. So Marcell Dareus is sitting there. I think he's their alternative. They could trade out of that slot. A team like the Houston Texans, for example, could jump up into number 2 and take Von Miller, who I know that they covet. But if Denver stays at 2, then I think Marcell Dareus is the pick.
I like Dareus. When your run defense is not shutting down people like it's supposed to be, and your division rivals have great running games, you gotta have a DT that can close up the middle. And why not go with Dareus?
Right. Now the Buffalo Bills are on the clock, and this is where things can go in a couple different directions. They struggled at the pass rush position. The outside backer that they've always looked for, or tweener, if you will. But Patrick Peterson's on the board, and he could really help out almost any team. He's that good. So I don't think you can pass on Peterson. I take him. Who do you like there?
With the Bills, I think you go Von Miller. They drafted Aaron Maybin. I don't think Maybin became that guy that they need him to be. And they were lacking in the sack category. So Von Miller is a stud. He's going to make plays. I'd go with Von Miller.
All right. Now, next up on the clock is the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals, rumors that Carson Palmer may be a little iffy. They could go for a quarterback. They could go for A.J. Green. Patrick Peterson could be on the board if your scenario plays out. What do you see the Bengals doing?
I think the Bengals, with Ocho Cinco talking about he's out of Cincinnati, and Terrell Owens gone. They have some young guys that are coming up, but why not throw in another stud? A.J. Green is a beast. These guys don't come around too often. Yet bringing A.J. Green entice Palmer to come back. He's got a new toy to play with. Less distractions from the 2 receivers. I'm not going to say their names. But, hey, A.J. Green is my pick at number 4.
All right. That moves us down to the Arizona Cardinals. They have a couple of needs they could fill. Maybe a guy like Robert Quinn could be a top 5 pick. I think that's a little early for him. But Patrick Peterson, under your scenario, is still available. They would love to have him. If Peterson's there, it's a slam dunk for the Cardinals. If not, I think they may look quarterback even though they don't want to. They're going to really think long and hard about Blaine Gabbert. I know they want a veteran, but the lockout kind of hurts them. But Patrick Peterson, under your scenario, is still available. They would love to have him. If Peterson's there, it's a slam dunk for the Cardinals. If not, I think they may look quarterback even though they don't want to. They're going to really think long and hard about Blaine Gabbert. I know they want a veteran, but the lockout kind of hurts them. Right now, the way it stands, they're going to go with Patrick Peterson if he's available.
I'd go with Patrick Peterson at number 5. There's also trade talks of Cowboys moving on up. Patrick Peterson is a flashy type of DB. He's got skills out the A. So look for maybe a trade down, perhaps. But they could always pick up Peterson and make a trade. Even with the Eagles, if a miracle happens and they can trade Cobb, best believe Arizona might try and make something happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, right now they could probably the phones might be ringing as we speak because there's some activity probably.
And they got to make Larry Fitzgerald happy.
Sure, absolutely, no doubt about
Guaranteed.
it. Cleveland Browns are up next at number 6, and they have some great choices at wide receiver if the board falls the way that we see it. AJ Green, you know, that Calvin Johnson type athleticism, speed, ball skills. Julio Jones, he's, you know, great hands, you know, big, fast receiver. In my opinion, I think the Browns have to address the offensive line. I know that they need a wide receiver. I know they need some tools for the young McCoy there. But against the Steelers and against the Ravens, you've got to protect your quarterback. You've got to have him upright. And it starts up front. So in my opinion, at number 6, the Browns get a good right tackle, and then their tackles are set with Thomas and their new guy, and go from there.
I'm going to go with Jones. You have Peyton Hillis, the new cover boy of Madden 2012. You have, you know, Colt McCoy, a young up-and-coming quarterback. What better way to get him secured in this league by giving him a great receiver to throw to? You have, you know, other receivers, Massaquoi, and then you have, we all love Cribbs, but we need a guy to stretch the field. And Jones would be that guy.
All right, so we go right down to number 7, San Francisco 49ers. They need some help in the pass rush department. And there's a couple of good ones that are sitting out there. Aldon Smith from Missouri, Robert Quinn from North Carolina. A couple of names. Also, you still got Nick Fairley on the board, who was dominant for Auburn. Who do you like the Niners to take?
The Niners could go, you know, Robert Quinn. With Gabbert sitting there, you have a new quarterback. I mean, you have a new coach. When a new coach comes on board, he usually tries to get his quarterback, his guy, to you know, follow in the system. But with Alex Smith coming back, you have him in the fold, potentially coming back. He has a space on that team if he wants to come back. But why not get Robert Quinn and lock up, you know, that pass rusher that they need.
I don't think you can go wrong with Quinn. I know he's a good player, but I really think the Niners want a cornerback. And if it's not Blaine Gabbert, which it really could be, because like you said, usually a new head coach means a new quarterback. But I could see with them going after a Prince Amukamara, or, you know, taking a maybe even a trade down situation and targeting a guy like Smith from Colorado maybe a little later and picking up some extra picks, and then, you know, hoping to fill some needs later. Right now, as it stands, though, I think they're going to take Gabbert. I think they have to go, you know, they have to go quarterback. They don't have a quarterback, and that's what's killing them. Their defense is okay. Their offense is good. They just don't have a quarterback. That's my opinion. Anyway, we're going to move on to number 8, the Tennessee Titans. They have a couple of different holes to fill. It sounds like Vince Young is on his way out. Is Kerry Collins going to be the guy or not? They need help on the defensive front. Nick Fairley is available from Auburn. What do you think? You think he's the call?
I like Nick Fairley. Ever since they lost Haynesworth, you know, that run defense hasn't been the same. The former defensive line coach at Auburn now works for Tennessee. So, you know, I don't think Nick Fairley is Haynesworth 2.0 in the, you know, off the field issues. I think Nick Fairley, you know, the only knock on him is he hasn't been a beast for his whole career. He had one great year that put him on the map. But Nick Fairley at DT, why not draft him at number 8?
Well, I think Fairley could definitely go there, but I also really like Jake Locker at number 8. I think everybody's going to say, oh, I can see everybody now. It's a stretch. They reach. What are they thinking? But Locker has tools. And last year, Locker was looked at as maybe the top overall pick or a top 3 pick, and he decided to go back to college. He didn't perform that well in his draft. Stock dropped a little bit. But that doesn't change the fact that he's still a great player. He's still the guy that wowed everybody his junior year. And he still has all the same skill set. And when he gets in with NFL coaches, they'll mold him. He's mobile. He's tough. He's got a big arm. He just has to work on some mechanics and his accuracy. But that's fixable. We've got NFL coaches that can change that. Vince Young's on his way out. Jake Locker's on his way in. Book it, Dano.
Jake Locker at number 8, eh?
Yes, sir. Number 9, we've got the star. Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Jerry Jones, he's got the big board up in the big stadium on the big screen. He's having a big party with a big bowl of popcorn. Everybody knows what's coming. Who are the Cowboys taking, Gail?
If they don't move up and get Peterson, they have to look at that offensive line with the age and the injuries that have piled up. You can't ignore it anymore. It's like it just has to be fixed. Tyron Smith, offensive tackle out of USC. It's a safe pick right there. If you don't want to get flashy, you go Tyron Smith.
Yeah, he's a good pick. They do need offensive line help. I don't know if it'll be Smith, but it's going to be a tackle. It's going to be somebody that's going to come in and compete, probably for the left tackle spot. And if he doesn't win the job, he'll be in the right tackle, but he'll be somewhere as a staple, and he'll groom into his role. Cowboys need to keep Romo upright. They have a good offense. They've got good players almost everywhere you look. The quarterback in this league is sacrosanct. And Romo's a good enough quarterback to win a ring. He just has to stay upright and not run for his life on every play. Especially when you play the Eagles and the Redskins and the Giants. They all have great defenses. Anyway, speaking of the Redskins, they're up next at number 10. Mike Shanahan's on the clock. Which direction does he go?
With all the news about McNabb and they definitely got to go quarterback. I think Shanahan is now going to try and get a quarterback that's like his guy. I don't know if it's going to be Gabbert. Could be Blaine Gabbert.
Probably for the left
right
tackle
now,
spot. And if
some
he
guys
doesn't
are
win the
saying
job,
he is the number 1 quarterback. But which quarterback fits his skill set? The type of skill set that Shanahan needs. He usually goes after a mobile type quarterback. Locker can move, but Gabbert can move too. He's a 4'6" guy, but it could be Blaine Gabbert, or if Jake Locker isn't taken, as you say he might be taken, it's either going to be Blaine Gabbert or Jake Locker. Schneider's going to go with the sexy pick and get a quarterback in the first round.
So, the Redskins could also be a trader. I think the Redskins could be a mover. Shanahan likes to move around a little bit. He could move up and try to grab a Locker maybe if he thinks that Tennessee will make a move. Anyway, you look at it, there's about 8 to 9 teams that really need a quarterback. And in a time where there's no free agency and there's really no way to know for sure that you're going to fill a need, I think you got to make a move and get a guy that's going to help you win. I think we all know McNabb is leaving. Rex Grossman, really? Yeah, quarterback at number 10, unless one of those big stud receivers is on the board. Well, anyway, that's the top 10 for tomorrow night's big NFL draft. Make sure you tune in. There's going to be a lot of activity, a lot of trades. Teams are going to be moving up and down all over the place, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we hope you check it out and enjoy it. I'm Steve O'Reilly. That's Gail Saunders, and we're giving you the skinny 24/7.